Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Lucha por Lucha. This is Mel Riojas.
And this is Alvaro Riojas.
Boo.
Hey. So, guys, this is a bonus episode, as Mel mentioned. And, instead of continuing, Mel, tell us, why is this a bonus episode?
Wait, did I mention that this was a bonus episode?
I thought I heard you say. So,
I didn't.
Well, we know now. So this is a bonus episode of Lucha por Lucha, something that we've never done before. So, Mel, tell us, what makes this a bonus episode? What made you think of?
Well, it was kind of a goof on my end because, well, it was what you guys recorded before I got there.
See.
So this was kind of like the first take, I guess. But I felt like in this one, there is information like that I feel like a lot of people can benefit from a promoter's perspective, kind of like what promoters can do. And also, I mean, we have several listeners who are wrestlers and who were not in the business when you guys first started. So there's a lot that they can learn from. There's a lot of stories shared that, you know, from your experience, like, you know, maybe that'll be beneficial to them.
And one thing that we don't do very often is we don't give you guys the props that you deserve. You, the listener, you listening to this right now. We want to just give you a big shout out, a big thank you for sending us your feedback. I think that really helps us put things together. If there's any other ideas, any other suggestions you may have, feel free to hit us up on our DMs on Instagram at Lucha por Lucha. And now this bonus episode has myself as a host, Lieutenant Dan as a special guest co-host, and of course Ace. And for those of you who don't know who Lieutenant Dan is, Lieutenant Dan was my manager for a very long time. He helped me, you know, he managed my bookings straight up, and he was like very hands-on. He would get me the hotels when I needed it. He would drive me from town to town, and very selfless, this guy. And it was a great pleasure to have him on the show with Ace. Now, Dan and Ace also go way back, and as you'll learn, well, you know what? I won't say too much, so that way you can listen to the episode and figure it all out for yourself.
But you'll see that there's a lot of stories like of what wrestling was back then, wrestling in the Valley, what it was back then, some do's and don'ts, some drama.
Oh, sí.
Poquito de todo. And yeah, we'd love to hear some feedback. Like, what is it that you like about it? What do you want more of? So we know what to give you.
So grab a pen and paper, get ready to take notes about what to do, what not to do, and enjoy this bonus episode.
Oh, and please grab a drink too, because we need you to match the vibe, because...
Yeah, these boys were having a little bit too much fun. Enjoy. We have a long list of people that we want to interview. And because I had this weekend off, I said to Mel, like, let's take advantage. Let's go to Laredo. When's the next time that I have a weekend off? I'm working Saturdays, Collision. So this is a rare weekend off. I didn't go to London. I didn't go to Wembley. I'm not going to work in front of 80,000 plus people.
You work in front of millions.
Yeah, but I'm here
Weekly.
tonight. I'm here tonight
thank you
with
for
the
being
people
out here.
with the people that matter to me. And I'll drink to that in my Pee-wee cup.
Cheers.
Toast.
Whatever
Skål.
Ace's special is. This
It's Ace's
Ace's
special.
drink.
It's spicy.
Long
It is
live
spicy.
Pee-wee, you know.
Paul Rubens, God bless his soul. I love that guy.
He wished Dan a happy birthday.
Thanks
to
to Ace.
To Ace,
Yeah.
the silver bullet.
Can we talk about that story?
You know, let's talk about that story.
Okay.
So my birthday was on January, right? And Ace...
This year, right? It happened this year.
This year, absolutely.
Your
right?
birthday's every January, but it happened this year.
It happened this year.
I only celebrate in January. This January I had to.
Only this year.
Yeah, only this year. And sure enough, when Ace sends me a message, hey, check your book face.
Yeah.
And sure enough, when I saw the video, it's a long video. It's like a 4-minute
He
video.
sings to you.
He sings to me and everything. And, you know,
He sings, he talks.
he does the Pee-wee thing and everything. Oh, wow. And that was pretty impressive, Ace. I appreciate that.
I'm not supposed to inhale this cigar,
No,
right?
all
There's
you
a
do is
puff.
taste it.
It's
I'm,
puff.
I'm about to light it up.
Be careful.
Oh.
Don't burn
Don't
yourself.
light the mic on fire.
Don't right by the microphone.
You want me to hold your mic?
Ladies and gentlemen, Al Riojas is lighting his first
Only
cigar
puff and taste it.
on air here. And look at that. He's
There
taking
you
a
go.
taste of it right there.
What's it taste like?
Mocha.
There you go.
Ándale.
Then you know what you're doing.
Am I supposed to swallow the bits
No,
of tobacco that's in
no,
my
man.
mouth?
Just
No,
spit
man.
them to the side.
Oh, with respect.
So, yeah, going back to Pee-wee, I mean, you know, great memory, great shout out. Thanks to Ace. And then, you know.
That's got to be like out of this world, because here's this guy that you see on TV, a guy that you grew up watching. Maybe not
Tremendous career.
Maybe not admiring because you didn't want to be Pee Wee when you
No,
grew
but
up.
like, look at his acting career. He did so many movies, right?
And he was
I mean,
funny as fuck.
Yeah.
He was funny as hell. He made
Oh,
you
we
laugh.
can curse on this.
Fuck, shit.
Oh, I don't want to get in trouble. Like,
Okay.
be
No,
like,
no,
In
oh,
trouble with who?
I didn't know what the
I don't know.
expectations
I don't
were,
want.
but
I don't want
think
AEW to come back at me and be
We're
like,
dropping
hey.
F-bombs
Listen,
here.
AEW doesn't care. It's Time Warner Discovery that cares.
Oh, okay. I don't want Time Warner to come back at me and cancel that guy.
Listen, we have full access to edit anything we want or need.
Bleep me out.
We can bleep if we need
Bleep.
to.
Mel, be ready to bleep because it's about to go down.
Bleep, blop, bloop.
We're live, pal.
You know, I want to go back and talk about Ray Chavarria's first memories as a wrestling fan.
They go way back.
Yeah, let's go there. Take us
Right now, we're in Laredo, Texas.
Yes.
Laredo, Texas is nothing compared to what it was in the early to mid 80s.
Okay.
We had one mall going on to two. We had the River Drive Mall, and then Mall del Norte was barely opening. We had drugstores, which was, I remember where I used to live, we had Munden's, El Rio
Perry's.
Family Center, Perry's. I'll tell you a story about Perry's. And Max's Pharmacy off of Market. Like, it was really, really small. Like,
Perry's was a pharmacy?
It was like a novelty store.
Supermarket? Oh,
no, they
novelty.
had everything. Like,
Yeah,
they had
like
clothing, they had
everything.
groceries. You could rent videos, which, like I said, I'll
Rent
get to
videos.
that right now.
Dude.
It's like a small Walmart, dude.
Yeah, a very small Walmart. Perry's was one of the few places that you can rent wrestling VHS tapes. Not DVDs, VHS tapes. And you can buy your Hasbro or your LJN figures.
You can buy them where you rented these videos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A la madre.
So
They had a lot of water guns there, too.
And they had G.I. Joes there. I'm a big G.I. Joe freak. So they had that stuff there. But at my great-grandma's house, my uncle, he was into the NWA, the Pro Wrestling Illustrated. So he was a very first introduction into what I had into professional wrestling. So when I saw pictures of Tully Blanchard, Magnum TA, Dusty Rhodes, I was looking at them. So we would go to my great-grandma's house and we play Loteria. But I wouldn't play Loteria. I would go to my uncle's room and try to read the Pro Wrestling Illustrated magazines. But I would look at the pictures. And then at Perry's, we would rent the NWA VHS tapes.
Your uncle lived with your grandma?
Yeah.
Similar story to mine. Because the first memory I have of wrestling, I'm at my grandma's house in my uncle's room because he was an adult but lived there. And that's when I was first introduced to pro wrestling. Now, my stuff was WWF at the time. And you're saying your first beginnings in wrestling was NWA?
NWA Pro Wrestling Illustrated, which was more... Yeah, you had the pictures of the WWF, but I was more like, oh, we can go to Perry's and rent NWA VHS tapes. And which at the
That
time,
was the only place you could
my
find them.
sister would take me on the weekends to go get VHS tapes. And first thing, I would get Karate Kid all the time.
Siempre.
Siempre. La Bamba. And
You loved it.
I loved it. I love La Bamba. By ear, I can tell you everything that goes on in La Bamba. Richie! But it was NWA VHSs because that's the only place you can find them here in Laredo. And then at my aunt's house on my mom's side, which also was close by to my house, they had cable. We didn't have cable, so they had the WWF pay-per-views, and we would go have carnes, and we would go watch. So, and then National Video opened up on Guadalupe, and we would sell at the flea market, which was a block away. So I'd walk and watch
The Guadalupe one.
yeah, and I would watch the wrestling there because the guy was super cool. Like, he was like, oh, you're here. Do me a favor. Go to McDonald's. Go get me this, and I'll put on a wrestling video for you. They would only strictly rent WWF VHS tapes. They wouldn't rent NWA. But at Perry's, you can find NWA tapes. I'm telling you, we were dirt poor.
Yeah.
But back in the day, like, cable was like a luxury. Or you had that box where you change the switcher.
The modified box.
I don't know what that was called. And my aunts and uncles had that. So they would
with the pin.
yeah, they would click it and they would go.
Y
you could
cambiaba.
yeah, the channel.
There you go.
But one day my dad was like, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. So he climbed the pole, and we had cable. And guess
All
what?
of a
The
sudden.
first thing that we turned on the TV was NWA wrestling, and I was like, what is going on?
You were watching it in your home.
Yeah, I was like, whoa. It was a trailer house, and we had the Road Warriors going up. I don't remember. They weren't names because I remember them seeing the Road Warriors, and I was like, whoa, they're face painted. And that goes back to the first iteration of Ace where I used to be face painted.
Yeah.
Because that's my connection to my father.
But see, now we're skipping forward.
A little
But
bit.
We haven't gotten there yet.
But my dad
There's
introduced me
inspiration.
into like the very first watching of wrestling on TV.
Yeah.
Because before that, it was just in the books, and then whenever possible, I would get the VHS of only the NWA. And then when my aunts and uncles were like, "Oh, we got WWF come over," I remember watching SummerSlam like 91, 90 as a kid.
92 was at Wembley.
I was already like at my aunt's house. Like everybody was outside cooking, like we were right now, but all the kids were glued onto the TV watching Bret Hart versus Davey Boy.
What was or has been your favorite wrestling memory that you've seen on TV, or even in person? As a
My
fan?
father and my mother sacrificing, because back then it was like work to get a ticket to go see wrestling.
Yeah.
And I remember they surprised me with tickets to go see the 1997 Royal Rumble in San Antonio.
That's the one where Mil Máscaras
Yeah.
eliminated himself.
He eliminated himself. I remember my dad in the area that we were at. He was the only one cheering for Stone Cold, and I was like, "Stop it! They're gonna beat us up on the way out." He was like, "Nobody's gonna." My dad, mind you, my dad was twice the size of I am and bigger 2 times. So my
Big
dad
man.
my dad was big and he used to lift weights. So he was like, "Nobody's gonna do nothing to us." So,
Why does that sound like me with my kid?
but yeah, like I'll always cherish that because my dad, like I remember, like he would eat sandwiches that my mom would make. Like that was, it wasn't like, oh, like let's go to lunch, let's go to Chili's, let's go to Applebee's for lunch. No, there was none of that, bro. There was like, oh, this is what you're eating. You don't eat, too bad. That I remember they sacrificed and they took me to that, and I was like, whoa. Like I remember I soaked it all in. I remember being in the rampway outside where Davey Boy Smith comes out, and there's a tape of it. Like I remember seeing it on WWE where Davey Boy's like, "Who's gonna win the Rumble?" And I remember I was like, "Yeah, Davey Boy's gonna win." And my dad was like, "Stone Cold is gonna win." I was
Your
like,
dad
"Stop
knew.
it."
Think about it though. Your dad was ahead of his time.
Yeah, but my dad was the bad guy. My dad was always going for the bad guy.
You had good
And I was
taste.
like, "Stop
Yeah.
it! Stop it! You're embarrassing me in front of my friends."
You were how old? Like what? 13?
I was
12, 13?
in middle school. I remember because the next day I had to run in because we got to school late. So I remember running into, I think 7th or 8th grade.
And you went to the Royal Rumble.
And I think I was the only one from my class that went to a Royal Rumble.
And I know for a fact that wasn't your last Royal Rumble to attend. Now, but would that be your favorite Royal Rumble memory?
Yes, it would. No matter what bad times brought, like after that, you know what? That was like a memory that I could share and live on with my dad, like because not everybody has a relationship with their dad, and I was lucky and fortunate enough to have that.
Yeah.
Because once he was taken away, I mean, I was able to hold on to that. My dad was able to see me wrestle. My dad was able to say, "What? Excuse my French. What the fuck are you doing? You're 27 and you want to be a wrestler?" I was like, I just want to do it just
Yeah.
to say that I did. And I remember when he saw me in face paint. We were in Zapata, the actual first booking you had.
Was that my first book
yeah,
in
yeah,
LWA?
Yeah, my dad was there and he was like, "I see what you want to do." And I was like, "I created this. This is mine." Like, and he was like, "Okay." Like, he eased up a little bit, but I remember the first time I told him I want to be a wrestler. I already trained. What the fuck?
No sabía.
And he was like, "That's a thing." And I was like, "Yeah, it's called the Independence." No,
No te
I had to
creía.
talk him into a lot of things. Like he was like, "It's gonna be okay." And he was like, the first thing he asked, "Is it fake?" And I go, "No, it fucking hurts." Like they hit me hard because back to old school training, every wrong move that I did, I would get hit.
So let's talk about that a little more. So when was it that you're like serious about training to be a, because I feel that every wrestling fan wants to do it, and then it gets to the point where now you can do it, and that's where you decide, will I do it, will I not? When
I
did
was
you
in
decide?
Afghanistan.
When you decided you wanted to, or
I was
did
in
you already know you
Afghanistan,
wanted to
and the
before?
guy in the next room, his brother, was starting a wrestling promotion here in Laredo. But he was like, "Oh, I want to bring a veteran, and I want to do this, and I want to do that." And this was my second deployment, so I was already considered a veteran.
How old were you?
26, 25, 26. So when the guy told me, "Hey, my brother's doing this. You want to go do this?" And I go, "Well, I can kick ass for real. Like I can." And he was like, "No, like there's training. I'll go to training."
That,
When I
like,
came home after that deployment, they're like, "Okay, well, when you're done being with your family, this is my brother's number. Call him and go to work." I thought they was like, "Oh yeah, like we're gonna throw you across the road. We're gonna give you a clothesline. It looks easy."
So the first day of training, did you think I can
The
do
first day
this?
of training, I was like, they want me to bring beer. Like, oh, okay, it's going to be a piece of cake. Like, I drink too.
This is in Laredo.
Yeah. It was in a backyard. A greenhouse. I remember it being a greenhouse. Mosquitoes galore. Dirt everywhere. And they're like, you got to clean the ring. And then this is what you're doing. Within the first day, I was already taking bumps. I was getting chopped. I was getting power bombed. Not knowing to tuck in your chin to chest.
They didn't say. They
Nothing.
didn't tell you that.
They didn't say put your tongue up when you're going up in the air. Nothing. Like
Nada.
they were just boom. Here you go. Every wrong move I did, I got my ass kicked. It was a castigo. That's what they would call it. They would chop you and then give you a castigo, which they would probably power bomb you, suplex you really hard, and then chop you. Be like, keep going. Do it wrong again, and we'll do it again. Which sucked because I had to learn quick and the ugly way, because getting power bombed onto a lucha ring hurts.
Oh yeah.
You have a little bit of padding and nothing but wood and steel. So they were like, tomorrow when you come to training, bring a 12-pack, and then we're going to train some more. So they beat the fuck out of me, and they'd be drinking. You want a beer? No. I want to go home. This shit hurts.
They asked you if you wanted a beer.
Yeah, but
And
I'm telling you, I would pay for the beer,
26
get my
years
ass
old.
whooped.
Yeah.
And they would drink it, and I would go on my merry way, bumps, bruised, the whole nine. Yeah.
And at the same time, you didn't know any better. You didn't know that you were getting your ass whooped. I mean, you felt it, but you thought this is what everybody goes through.
Yeah, and the ropes were cable, and they were only with a hose, and it was painful. It hurt. It was nothing like it is today. Nothing like Danny Chance's school or the Ace's School of Wrestling. Like, this was like, I got
Different.
my ass whooped.
It was different. Question, and only because I mentioned this on my episode, I mentioned how growing up I was watching Tough Enough. And I learned through Tough Enough.
I
to
didn't
tuck
have
my chin.
Tough Enough because I was already an adult, and I had to deploy. I had to be in the military.
You
know?
were out there.
Yeah.
You're living.
He was serving.
Yeah, serving our country, pal.
That's right, pal.
That's right.
And first day of training, were you the only one training?
No. There was other kids there. I remember there were little kids, but they had already trained.
So you were the
So
only
they
one
were
buying
ahead
beer.
of the game. They were like rolling and doing 3/4 rolls and like tiger rolls, and I was just like,
Do you remember any of the names that you were training with, or like who trained you? Like anybody that's
what was
a
his
cool name or a
the
silly
Joker.
name?
You remember the Joker?
I know a Joker, the one that wrestled Mad One for.
Yes.
The same
Okay,
guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
same guy. He trained you.
Well, his dad was the one that was deployed with me,
Orale.
and his uncle was the one that started me in the wrestling business.
Really?
Yes.
I remember Joker.
But Joker was super agile. He was like $125,
Estaba bien chavadón también.
and he would move like nobody's business.
Was he in the military with you?
No, only his dad.
Okay.
But he was doing crazy moves off the ropes, and I was like, I can do that maybe. But then when I would do it wrong, I would get my ass whipped.
Okay. So then that happened. Mm-hmm. How long did it take before you had your first match?
3 weeks.
3 weeks of training,
3 weeks.
Monday through Friday.
Yes. And all those Monday through Fridays, I bought beer. And then they're like, we're going to have a show in Miranda City, which is like 40, 50 miles away from here. And they're like, but we don't have a truck. The trailer's there. Can you bring the ring to Miranda City?
They're
Sure.
asking you.
Yeah. And I was like, well, I had a truck at the time. So I was like, sure. So the day of the show comes, and I see the ring set up and the trailer's there. And I was like, we have a show in 2 hours. What's going on? The promoter's like, oh, yeah, you have to put the ring on the trailer and bring it over here. And I go, who's going to help me? Nobody.
Solo.
Solo, which is now the 5-star ring. That was the ring that we
The
had to-
original.
yeah. So I remember I tore it down as best as I could, strapped it down, went to Miranda City, and they're like, oh, set it up. You're the new guy. And I go, nobody's going to help me? And they're like, no, this is it. So I was like, oh, and you got like 20 minutes before the doors open.
Oh shit.
How did you do it?
I didn't do it on time. But here's the thing, nobody showed up. This show was a work. Like they had it.
Yeah.
They had me invite all my friends and family.
They booked it.
Yeah. I paid for everybody in my family because I was not going to tell my friends and family. I'd be like, hey, well, grandma, pay for the ticket to get in. So I paid for everybody. Boom. My friends and family show up. Hey, when are you wrestling? Hey, and I said, in a little bit, I guess. They cut my match. They cut it completely. And they're like, hey, you're not doing anything today. And I was like, only my friends and family are here. And I pay like $400 to get them here. And they're like, nope, you're not on the show. And I was like, motherfuckers.
Do you remember what that show was called? Like the
No,
promotion?
they didn't have
or-
it. Yeah, it was. I don't want to say it because I respect the guy still,
Yeah.
but he knows. He knows. Like when you respect somebody, you want to talk shit about
Of
them.
course. Yeah.
But the wrestlers were the ones that talked shit. Like they're not in the business no more. One of them is in jail. Oh yeah, that Ace's drink is getting to you, huh? But yeah, like but I remember showing up and they're like, "You're done," and I was like, "What do you mean?"
But that was going to be your debut.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
you had your family there.
My friends, my family, everybody was there. My grandma was there. My grandma never went anywhere
And what were you going to wrestle as?
as Ace.
You knew right
No,
along.
no. Ever since I was a little kid, my brother would call me Ace as in
Older
Ace
brother?
Freely. Yeah, yeah.
Older brother.
Like he was into Kiss, so he was like, "What's up, Ace?" Because I was the Ace Freely, whatever.
And you took you like
And
you
I just
never
kept on to
questioned.
yeah. Like in the military, everybody knows me as Ace because I was like, when they would say Chavarria, I would just wouldn't turn. I was like, just call me Ace.
The cool guy over
Yeah,
here.
it was super cool. But
Pero,
no,
but you were going to debut as
Yeah,
Ace.
as Ace, yeah, yeah.
Face paint? Did you already
no.
know you
I
wanted the
just
face
had my military fatigue because that's what
Okay.
they said. We want a U.S. veteran to come in, whoop some ass, and whatever.
They always say the best characters are whatever's closest to your real life. With
Yeah.
the volume turned up.
Yeah. So I remember I showed up and your match is cut, and I was like, bro, my whole family showed up, and nobody got to see me. All they got to see me is show up in the ring and wave. My grandma got in the ring. We took a picture. She left, and the promoter was like, "Oh, I don't have nobody to take the ring back to Laredo." I was like, "Well, you cut my match. I don't need to." Sorry, Pooches. We're live, pal.
We're live.
But he was like, "I don't have nobody to do it, like help me." And I was like, "Man," and I go, "I'm only doing this because I respect your brother, and I respect the family."
El Papa de Joker.
Yeah.
That's the brother.
And I was like, I was pissed. So brought the ring back. And we had a meeting. I said, I don't want to do this ever again. And put myself out there, pay so much so I can be cut. And I didn't make a big deal about it because my family was here. And they're like, no, well, what do you want to do? And I go, I want to create something where we can come together and we can do something big where everybody is winning. I want to create the Laredo Wrestling Alliance. And they're like, I don't like it. It's never going to work. That's shit. And I was like, then this is where I leave. Because what you all did in Mirando City, I know that I can do 10 times better. With the circle that I have, I can create something special. It might not be as big as what Mirando City was because I paid for a lot of people. But I'll do something and I'll show all of you all that I can do it. And then that's where the LWA was created. And chapter 2.
Let me take some steps back.
Okay.
You mentioned that you all got together. Who is everybody that got together? Who do you mean by we got together?
I remember it was like 3 or 4 wrestlers, the promoter, myself, and we were at the Boys and Girls Club on the west side. Or the rec center. The Farias Rec Center is that the one on the west side?
Santa
And-
Maria.
Yeah. And I told them, hey, like, if you all want me to be a part of this, I can have my resources together and we can do it. If not, I'm like legit out. Like, this is what I want. Because if that's what this promotion is about, no way. Like, I'm out, like, completely. Like, if, like, let's do LWA. Like, one maybe said yes and the other was like, nah, you'll never do anything.
But that just sounds to me like old school being old school.
Yeah.
They don't like change. And I mean,
which
I
it
can
wasn't
be like
old
that too.
school for long because they had only had like 2 shows before me.
But they're going with what they know,
Mhm.
and creating something new is not something they were comfortable with. You felt disrespected, and you were. I think you were.
Yeah.
And things don't fly like that nowadays. But okay, they laughed at you.
No, they didn't get to laughing weight. So when they were like, yeah, we don't want to do that. And I go, okay, I'll do it by myself. So I went to the armory because I was in the military and I go, hey, why don't we work a deal where you all can run concessions for the family readiness group. You all keep all the concessions. We run half the tickets. You get half, I get half, and I'll put the show on. They're like, that sounds like a great idea. So I was like, where in the front door am I going to get professional wrestlers in like a month? So I got Madwin, George Wolf now, which was at the time a good friend of mine. And I just picked and choose, hey, I need you to be this person. I'm going to train you to do this.
He wasn't a wrestler yet.
Nobody was a wrestler here.
Nobody that you had for your first LWA show was a wrestler.
Only Joker. Joker and his sister. But we didn't have a wrestling school to go to. We had the School of Hard Knocks, and everybody had basketball shorts, tennis shoes, warm-ups, sweatpants. Like, it was what the old school guys would have said, that's a joke. But we put our heart and soul into it, and the first show we had 200 people.
For the very first LWA show.
Yeah, roughly. You were there?
At the Armory.
Yeah.
Dan, you were there for the very first
Yes.
LWA show.
I was, yes.
What year was this?
That was 2010.
2010,
October 2010. At the National Guard Armory.
Same year I made my debut.
Oh yeah, pal.
That's right, pal. Because I ended up reaching out, 2011?
Yeah.
So you guys
Well-
hadn't been around for too long.
Well, like I said, I had a truck, and the guy that I asked, can I rent your ring? He was like, yeah, but you have to move it. So it took me 6 days to move the ring,
6 days?
piece by piece, no trailer, in the back of my truck.
Oh, so no gooseneck, no bed, no trailer bed?
No.
Just your truck.
Pieces of the ring, you know how they're 20 feet
They don't
long?
fit-
They
they
were
don't fit
hanging
in the
through the
truck.
top. They were hanging through the top, and I was driving from the American Legion downtown all the way to the Armory down here.
Which is what, like 7 miles?
give or take. Give or take.
Más o menos, 7 miles, let's say 10 miles.
Complete opposite sides of town, man.
6 days.
6
in the
days.
same town.
By myself.
Pero you wanted to.
I wanted to. I
You
wanted.
wanted
I
it.
wanted to show the other guys that said you'll never do it. I wanted to show them that I can fucking do it.
That's wild. And I say that's wild because I know when I started, I wrestled for free.
Not with me.
And no,
Not with me.
You were the first person to pay me, Ray.
Oh.
You were the first person to pay me, and well, not the last one, but but I remember what I told you after you first paid me.
You don't have to pay me that much.
I know that was my biggest mistake, Ray.
And then we adjusted that, didn't we?
Thanks. Yeah, no. After Lieutenant Dan came into my life, we got that adjusted, and
Real quick.
Ray gave what he could, and Dan put in the rest. Which, by the way, now that I have you here, Dan, let me let you know before we continue with more of Ray's story. I want to let you know how much I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
And I appreciate you because you took my wrestling career to places I never thought I could be at. Like, I always wanted to do it, right? And I always thought I could, but there was a long time that I was stagnant. And I was stagnant up until you came into my life.
Mister, aren't you Bandana Joe?
I haven't heard that name in
In a long
a
time.
long time. But yeah, no, you came in and you started talking to promoters for me. You started asking for the pay and then some.
Mm-hmm.
We got hotel rooms, we got paid, we got food, drinks, all the good
Transportation.
stuff.
All that, yeah.
And we got recognition.
Mm-hmm.
So for that, I don't know if I ever thanked you personally, but now that I'm here with you tonight with Ray, having you as my co-host, like for something like this, I wouldn't have anyone else.
I appreciate you. Means a lot.
And I feel that you and Ray played such a big role in my life, in my career, that I wouldn't be working for AEW if it wasn't for you guys. And that's I
That's
know
a
that.
shoot.
I know that.
Now
to be
that
the
I have
truth.
you and I have you on this that everybody can hear, where did the name Bandana Joe come out? Because there was a Samoa Joe, there was a Texas Joe,
Ray, that
and then
breaks-
all of a sudden I heard Bandana Joe.
that breaks
There's
my
so many
heart.
Joes in here.
It breaks my heart that you haven't heard episode 3 of Lucha por Lucha because the story is explained on Lucha por Lucha. But
Brother,
I
do you
can-
know how busy I am?
Mister,
But I
aren't you
can-
Bandana Joe?
Hey, I haven't heard that name in years. You know, Bandana Joe came from Samoa Joe in the way that
I gave you that figure.
you did. And my kids kept it, and they still play with it. It's around. But let me say, the name Bandana Joe came from watching The Goonies. And in The Goonies, have you guys watched it?
Only I went to go see it. I took my kids to go see it. They had
Recently?
they had a screening.
At the mall, was it?
Yeah, at the mall, and they're like, and I was like, I gotta take the kids. They liked it.
So in that movie, there's the older brother, Josh Brolin, plays the older brother. He wears a bandana. And to me,
And he's a Joe.
no, he's not. Samoa Joe is. But watching that movie, I always admired the older brother. I always wish I had an older brother like him.
I have an older brother, and he sucks.
See, I don't have any brothers at all. So
Neither do
to
I.
me, he was the one I looked up to. And he had a bandana around his head throughout the entire movie. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. He looked like the coolest motherfucker I'd ever seen. The baddest
Especially
motherfucker.
riding the pink bike.
Especially with that pink bike. No one's going to fuck with him except that rich dude with
Andy.
the convertible.
No,
I-
not Andy. Andy's the girl.
Andy's the girl. The guy's name is probably Andy too, but I hate Andy. And the fact that he was the coolest guy I ever thought existed, and my favorite wrestler at the time was Samoa Joe. I thought, Bandana Joe is a name that really flows off the tongue, especially with the kids.
I like Samoa Joe a lot until his action figure came along. And I told you, I was like, this is the shittiest figure
That's why
I've
you-
ever seen.
That's why you
can
gave
have
it to me. I was over the moon. You
still have it?
Right? The kids have it.
No,
It's
for
there
real.
somewhere.
Like I was like, this guy can kick some ass. And then the figure came out, and I was like, this is shit.
Was
This is
this
the
TNA?
shitty. Yeah, wait, this is the first TNA figures that came out.
For those people that don't know, Ray is an avid collector of figures.
Yes.
And he collects wrestling figures, G.I. Joes.
That's it.
That's
I
it.
I have to stop because if not, my wife will kill me.
Imagine.
He does have the turtles over there too.
Imagine the Toidles. Imagine the Thundercats.
Stop.
Imagine
stop because I want to collect them all, and then but I already.
They're not Pokemon.
He's running out of room already.
They're not
Yeah.
Pokemon. You can't collect them all.
My wife will kill me. Like she's like, yeah, stop buying shit.
So Ray, okay, let's go back. So
We're going back.
You created the LWA with guys that had never wrestled.
Never
before.
wrestled. Never. We didn't even know that independent wrestling existed.
How could you know?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, people started reaching out. I hear you're running in Laredo. I was like, I am. And I was like, this is one and done. Like I didn't want to expect.
Who reached out?
Rudy Boy.
He reached out.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't even know who this is.
And he reached out through Facebook.
Facebook. And then I remember I asked George, and I was like, hey, I think people want a second show. And he was like, what do you mean? And I go, I've got messages. And I go, I think we got to start recruiting people to teach them how to wrestle so we can have wrestling shows. And he was like, are you serious? And I go, yeah. I think it's go time.
So you just, in your head, you just wanted to do that one show?
Yeah, that was it.
That was it.
That was it. I was one and done.
You were all
Because
in.
I
for
just
that
wanted
show.
to show everybody that I could do it.
Yeah.
And then when the 200 people showed up, I was like, oh shit, it could be done. But now it's like people are asking like, when's the next one? I was like, okay.
What did you do?
One show turned into 12 years of LWA. Imagine that.
12 years under you.
Yeah. 12 years of LWA. And it's, I missed birthdays. My mom passed away. The next day we were at an LWA show. My mom and dad. My dad passed away first. You were there.
I was there because
Yeah.
that was in McAllen.
Yeah, my dad passed away in McAllen. You were there for the Rosary.
I felt like I needed to be there because
thank you for that.
You had been so good to me that I felt like it's in my hometown. What's my excuse for not
Yeah,
being
yeah.
there?
And I'll always remember that because my dad, like I said, he took me to the Royal Rumble. It was very special to me. And still to this day, I can remember every memory with my dad in wrestling. The Road Warriors, that's where Classic Ace was like with face paint.
If you guys look up a picture, and I'm sure that we can post something on social media, a picture of Ace, Ace the wrestler, you'll see the face paint.
Not the regulator.
Not the regulator Ace, but regular Ace. You'll see the face paint, very reminiscent of Road Warrior Hawk and Sting, in my opinion.
Yeah, of course, because that's what I saw that first time that my dad went up to the pole, started putting cables together, and we had cable in our house. And I was like, and there's a silver outfit that I had, because I think I was one of the first guys in Laredo that had gear.
Like actual gear.
Actual gear. So I remember I had a silver gear the first time my dad saw me wrestle, and he was like, hey, this is what you want to do? Go for it. Like, go for broke. And this archway right behind you,
Yeah.
my dad made that for me.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I will hold on to that no matter what until the day that I'm gone.
It works, man. It's
still
legit.
It's still ready to go. Like we used it at this past Aces event.
What I'm looking at is a black arch that arches over, and it's about 7, maybe 8 feet tall, and is as wide as maybe 5 feet wide, with the lights on. And your dad made this.
My dad made that
And
in
to this
McAllen,
day-
in the valley. Like my dad lived in the valley. You were there. Like my dad made that, and I brought it back, and he was like, "Go for broke. Like whatever you need from me, we'll do."
Did you ever live with him out there in the valley?
Nah, I stayed because I was already an adult. I was
Yes,
already
I was
in my
around.
20s. Yeah, so I remember going to go visit him, and I was like, "This is what I want to do." He thought it was a joke, but when he saw me do it in Zapata the first time we brought you, he was like, "Oh, I see what it is. Like I see the sacrifice that you're putting." I go, "This is all mine. Like all this is mine. It's not nobody else's. It's mine."
You had a buried alive match that night.
We
You had a
whole
buried
bunch of
alive
crap.
match. You had me against Beast Bane, who ended up being there's not much we can say other than he's not good for TV or for radio or for podcasting. But I wrestled Beast Bane, big guy.
Yes.
And I remember a lot of the WR guys came with me that day, and they came to support.
But I remember not knowing of the WR. I remember seeing Danny Ramones in an independent televised show here because at 2 a.m. on Fox here locally,
No
we would get
way.
wrestling. Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're about to say.
Bruce Tharp
Bruce Tharp.
was the announcer. And I remember seeing Cherry Ramones and the Colonel. I don't remember if they wrestled each other, but I remember seeing Cherry Ramones, the Colonel, and I remember Bruce Tharp being the announcer because we would get that here locally at like 2 a.m. on Saturdays.
That sounds like NWA Brownsville.
But it wasn't NWA.
It wasn't NWA Brownsville, Dan. It was what was it? TWF.
I don't remember, but I remember like
we talk about it in the first episode with Danny Ramones, and I remember the same memories because I would watch the local channels and watch Ramones.
But remember,
wrestle.
we didn't have cable. At me in high school, I didn't have cable. This is when I was in high school, and I know Danny's been wrestling for over 20 years.
He was wrestling when you were in high school.
Yeah, like because I remember seeing him. He used to have a black outfit,
He was Gravestone.
something. I remember. But
He was Gravestone. He was trained by Dante, and they were wrestling for the TWF, Texas Wrestling Federation. I mean, I don't remember exactly, but I know it's on episode 1, and I would watch the same shows. Bruce Tharp.
I didn't watch
those.
it. I didn't watch it a lot, but I
No.
remember seeing Danny Ramone as he was in black, the Colonel. Because I was like, this guy sucks. Not because he was bad, because
The Colonel,
I was
not
pissed.
Danny, not
no,
Danny.
no, because the Colonel was a bad guy. So I was
Yeah.
like, this guy sucks. Not because he was a bad wrestler. because
That's really cool, though. I didn't know that.
we had that channel here.
I didn't know that, and I know that kind of like the way Dave Marquez has the regions now. Dave Marquez has Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, but Championship Wrestling from Hollywood is in Brownsville in the local channels, and it's in other regions. He's from over here, Hollywood, California, with his show airing everywhere else. Now, I remember reaching out to LWA, and you giving me the okay to
Yeah.
come on board.
Because I didn't know. Like, again, it's not a knock on you. It's not a knock on the WR guys. We didn't know. Like, it was only our little thing here. Because Facebook wasn't as popular as it is now. It was just like, oh, your friends are here.
So at the time, Ray, we were wrestling, we were opening up shows for Lucha guys, and then I think by the time I reached out to you, WR had already started doing weekly shows at Cine El Rey, but I wanted to expand. I always knew that wrestlers, if you want to make it, you have to expand. You can't stay in the same region. LWA was the next closest thing that I could find, and I reached out, and I was over the moon when you told me, yeah, we'll book you.
Yeah, because, again, I didn't know there was another wrestler out there. Other than Rudy, but I was like, I don't even know who this old man is. Like, why has he contacted me? Like,
Now, Ray, did you have a feel for Lucha Libre over American
yeah, because
wrestling,
we would
or-
see Lucha Libre across the border. We would see it on TV. We would get Consejo Mundial here. We would get AAA here. We would get Lucha Libre even from Monterrey here. So it
Or
wasn't.
the shows on every Monday across.
Yeah. So it wasn't like off. Like we grew up on Lucha Libre more than NWA or WWE.
And plus, that's what you trained as, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it was
yeah.
Lucha Libre training.
Mm-hmm.
But then you started your own thing. And did you envision Lucha Libre shows, or did you envision American
No, I
wrestling
was
shows?
more like, let's do something different. Let's do something that's out of the box because we see Lucha Libre here at the Casablanca. We see Lucha Libre across. Let's do wrestling. Let's do something where we can at least not get hurt because I know who I'm wrestling against.
Were you thinking storylines? Were you
Not
thinking
yet.
weekly, monthly? Like
Not
what
yet,
was on your
because
mind?
it was like, oh, let's do this, and then, like I said, from that one show, they asked for a second show, then a third show, and then, oh, bring it to Zapata. I was like, okay. Like,
So the Zapata show wasn't your idea. They booked it. Somebody else booked it.
yeah. Somebody else from the military saw it, and they're like, why don't you bring it to the Marine Corps League over there? And I was like, if I can help, sure, why not? If we're both making money, like, I don't care. And so we were off to the races.
I remember that first show. I got there.
I remember there was like 12 matches that show because everybody wanted to
Dude.
be on that.
So I got there, and that's where I met you. I met Texas Joe. I met Southside. I met Joker. I met Madness at the time.
At the time, Madness.
I met so many of you guys, and Texas Joe was very hands-on. Texas Joe, I felt at the time that you and Texas Joe were running the LWA. And I thought, man, these guys, they treat us like kings. They treat us like kings. And I told Ray after the show, he paid me $100, I remember. And I thought, this is fucking great. I went up to Ray. I thought I was stealing from him, and I was like, Ray, you don't have to pay me this much anymore. Just tell me what you need from me, pay me what you can, and I'll be here. And that changed.
And the rest is history.
Not the best history, but well, not the
What do you mean?
best. Not the
I
best.
gave you your $100 and like 4 Bud Lights.
Not the best decision I could have made, but
it sure
I'll tell you what, definitely worth it because that built a friendship that is uncomparable to many. Like Ray proved that he's a guy that I can count on, a guy that will be there for me. Ray, even though he wasn't always a wrestler, he always stayed within the business.
I think I was only a wrestler to know the fact that I could do it, but then I was like, this isn't my calling. My calling is promoting. My calling is to find the next star, to make sure that we can elevate, to bring people back into the seats, where we started creating storyline, where I talked to you and we created United Pure title.
United Pure title. We created the Rise division.
Yes,
and
that's right.
and aside from all that, Ray, we also, you were the first promoter that I was working with that was bringing superstars, ex WWE stars, ex WCW stars,
Legends.
How did that start? Like who was the first superstar that you brought into the game, and how did that happen?
Raven.
In Far.
Raven. No, in here.
Before that was before
Yeah.
Far. Tell me about that.
Mad One.
I remember that.
I know him as Mad One Madness, not George Wolf. I'm sorry, but he told me, "Hey, I bet you can't get Raven." And I was like, "Why are you telling me that? I bet you can't do this."
Where did that come from?
I don't know. I guess he was a fanboy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he liked.
You could say Mark in this channel. You can say Mark on the podcast.
I guess he was a Mark. I guess he was a Mark for Raven.
Nothing but love for you, George.
But when you tell me, I bet you can't do this, that lights like a fire in my ass. Like, I need to make sure that I get to that so I can throw it in your face and be like, boom, I did it. So I remember when he was like, I bet you can't get Raven. And I was like, I bet you I can. And I ended up getting Raven three or four times. Four times.
How does somebody get a hold of someone of Raven's stature?
Facebook.
You sent them a DM?
I sent him a DM, and I was like, hey, good afternoon. My name is Ray Chavarria. I'm from Laredo. I gave him a whole spiel and be like, hey, instead I could have just said, hey, what's your booking fee? Like,
Yeah. You gave him the backstory.
I gave him, hey, I'm in Laredo, Texas. I barely started running shows. You would be the first big name that I bring to Laredo. He was like, oh, I can't wrestle. And I go, just to do an appearance. I was like, I can do that, pal. And he goes, we'll bring you here for a meet and greet and then here to go drink. He goes, I don't drink, but I'll go hang out. Okay. So, like,
What was the name of that place? Do you remember? It was on Springfield.
it was it was too hip for me. I was like, I'm in the wrong place.
It was like a lounge. Like,
But who decided on that? Was it you?
because he couldn't wrestle. So he was like, I'll do a meet and greet. Oh, no, we went to a bar first down here on the south side. And he was like, you're taking me to the bridge. And I was like, no, we're going along the river. We're going to this bar. And he just gave us knowledge. And I think I soaked it in when he was telling me, oh, like professional wrestling, you have friends and this is a business. You keep your circle small to make sure that you're successful. Because once that circle breaks, it's either your friends or your business. He goes, okay. And I kept that to heart. I was like, I need to be successful to keep this going. That was like year 2 of LWA, 1 or 2. I was able to bring him 3 more times after that.
You flew him in and you picked him up and you were doing all that work?
Yeah. Still to this day, I pick up wrestlers and do all the work. Like,
So that whole Raven thing was huge because I feel like that was the beginning of a lot of bigger names to come. And I remember one trip where you had Leija and Nurse Jose Garcia is his name. He was a referee for LWA, referee for Wrestling Revolution. And you had both of Miguel and Nurse pick up Bushwhacker Luke.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that because I was booked on that show.
Bushwhacker Luke was here for like 3 days, brother.
Dude, he was tanning
And he
in the
loved it.
hot Laredo sun.
And he was like, this is how you get color.
He was in heaven, and the sun was hot, dude. Fucking hot. No lotion, no nothing. He was shirtless at a barbecue at
And he
3
loved it.
p.m.
Yeah, and he was the only one in the sun. Everybody was in the shade, and we were just
all
looking at
taking
him.
cover, and I was supposed to be there longer, and I was like, dude, I gotta go. It's fucking hot. Me despedí y me fui.
Yeah.
But we did drive Bushwhacker Luke the night before, and he kept saying, like, hey, I want to wet my whistle. We didn't know what that meant.
He was a little thirsty.
Yeah,
And he was like,
I mean,
where are all the Sheilas?
where are all the Sheilas at? We thought he wanted to go to a strip club. And we're like, Bushwhacker Luke, we don't want to go to a strip club. We're all either married or just not interested. And he's like, no, I want to wet my whistle. I need a drink. Do you have any Zimas? And we're
Yeah,
like,
because he would drink Zimas.
Zimas?
There ain't none of that.
They stopped selling those years ago.
Wow.
Bushwhacker Luke, you dog. But Bushwhacker Luke was full of knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
Full of knowledge, and he fucking spoke our ears off. I enjoyed it, man. I really enjoyed it, and you brought a lot of the other legends. Like, to me, if you wanted to wrestle a prominent name in Texas, it had to go through LWA. There was a long time that was the case.
In South Texas, yes.
That was around 2012.
But again, I didn't know the ins and outs of professional wrestling. I'm not going to say that I knew everything, but when somebody came, I still had a 20-minute drive to the hotel room with this person. I was like, let me pick your brain. Let me learn.
Sabías.
Yeah, like let me pick something from you. Like I remember the first time Raven came in, I was like, okay, like you seem like a cool guy. Like, do you want me to come and wrestle for you? Like I don't wrestle anymore that much, but I'll do it. Like if you have somebody that's gonna take care of me and that's willing to work. And I was like, what's work mean? I was like, it means that you're gonna wrestle properly, not be a fool and fuck my shit up. Like we're gonna wrestle and we're gonna go have a good match. Make sure that the people that paid $5 to get into the building, because at the time we were charging $5,
Yep.
are getting their money's worth. And I was like, okay, like, oh, okay, now I know the meaning of work. Like that's where I picked up all my knowledge. I didn't pick up my knowledge reading stuff on the internet because I was too busy to be on the internet learning what the terms were. Other people, yeah, they got to learn what they were off the internet or on a school. I didn't have a school. I didn't have none of that. It was like, learn as you go, and you better learn quick. If not, that guy's going to go talk shit about you to the other guys. And to this day, like, thank God I have a good reputation with the big names. I show up somewhere, and people know who I am. Like, I was astonished when they said, hey, Jay Lito is asking for you to go to the back. And I was like, whoa, I worked hard to get to that.
It's called earning the right.
Dude, and by working hard, you mean like you pick these guys up from the airport. You
I still
drove
do.
them.
I still do. Like,
And you drive them to their hotel room. You spend time with them. You're
Yeah.
not just booking them and that's it.
I still have friendship with a lot of the guys that work for LWA. Tokyo Monster Cajegas is one of the former NWA world champion, is my friend.
He was the first big name, and I say big name compared to everybody else I had wrestled up until that point. He was the first big name I wrestled, and I remember being afraid for my life.
Because he was that scary in the ring. But when you talk to him, he's a totally cool guy.
Super
Like,
cool guy,
yeah.
but okay. Tell everybody, tell the listeners the story of what video you showed me at the tattoo parlor. You're like, hey, you're here early. We're over here at this tattoo parlor. Meet us here. I got something to show you. You showed me a video of Cajegas wrestling.
He was chopping Chaz Taylor, and Chaz Taylor turns out to the corner and starts throwing up.
Chaz Taylor is a former, well, he still wrestles, I guess, maybe.
I think he's just an actor.
Okay, he's an actor. But at the time, he was a former 80s superstar, early
Out of the
90s
Houston area.
superstar who was on TV wrestling every week on ESPN. And Cajegas wrestled him in the 2000s, was chopping him in the corner, and Chaz Taylor falls down, turns around, and starts puking.
Outside the ropes.
And this is what Ace is showing me. My opponent is making this guy throw up, and I'm about to wrestle him in a few hours, and Ray's showing me this, and Cajegas is there laughing his ass off, and I'm like, okay, I am intimidated, but I can't show this. I gotta be tough. Like, Ray is trusting me to wrestle this guy.
And that's something that I saw. Like, if I'm booking the Tokyo Monster Cajegas, I want him to come back. Like, I want him to go tell his people, you can go work for Ray if he calls you. So I wanted to put him against the best that I knew, like that you can go. Like, I didn't want to book somebody and be like, oh, like he can semi-go.
Dude, it meant a lot, really, because I was afraid to wrestle him, right? I was afraid that he was going to take advantage or like that I just couldn't keep up.
You're a little nervous.
I was more than nervous, pal. I was like shitting bricks. But then the first chop happened in the match. And I was like, okay, that stung, but no more than the last guy. Chops me again and again and again and again and again. And I start to think to myself,
I'm going to puke, pal.
if I don't do anything, I'm about to puke. So I grab him by the head and I turn him around, put him in the corner and start chopping him. And he lets it happen. And I'm like, okay, we're working. This is the first time in my career that I'm taking control of my match. And I begin to chop him, and he's taking it. Just as hard as he was giving it to me, I was giving it back, and he was taking it. Granted, he gave me a fucking hard-ass chair shot at, outside the ring that wasn't called, but it didn't hurt me. And after the match, I go to Cajegas. He beats me, right? He beats me 1, 2, 3. We go to the back, and I go up to him, and I thank him because that's what I've always learned. Thank the vets. I go up to him, and I thank him. And I apologize for switching that spot where he was chopping the shit out of me. And he tells me, brother, if you wouldn't have turned me around, I would have beat the shit out of you. And I'm thinking to myself,
You were the first one to ever do that.
God damn. God damn. Like, I'm so glad that I did it because I didn't know whether it was right or wrong. I felt it. The crowd wanted it. I gave it to them.
And that was one of many times that Cajegas came to Laredo.
Dude, yes. That was the first time, and he came back several other times.
Yes. And mind you, I just spoke about this on my vlog, Let the Mic Drop, that Cajegas came and Roxanne Perez, came to me and said, I want to be a professional wrestler. What do I need to do? And there's a picture of her holding the NWA North American title.
The title that Cajegas had at the time.
Yes, sir.
How old? She was like, what, 13?
She was like 9.
Estaba chiquilla.
Yeah, estaba chiquilla. 8 or 9 years old. Let's take a quick break right here. Do you have commercials on this?
We should.
We should have sponsors.
And if we don't, this is the perfect time to
This
add
is where you should have the New Breed School of Wrestling promote something. Yes, and talk about it while we take a quick break.
Join the New Breed of Pro Wrestling School of Wrestling.
Where Danny Chance teaches you a headlock
And a headlock takeover.
into a hammerlock.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Are we back? Muchas gracias.
We're back on.
Estamos en Lucha por Lucha. Espero que se disfrutaron de ese dulce comercial.
Especialmente presentado por Ace's Barbecue. You know, Ace, you have a lot of ventures.
Ventures.
A lot of different ventures.
I try to do it all, I guess.
So you mentioned Let the Mic Drop earlier. That's a podcast.
I think it's more like a vlog because we actually have video.
So like a YouTube vlog.
Yeah.
Now, Dano,
It's not as popular on YouTube, but on Facebook, it's pretty okay. Like on the South Texas wrestling scene.
So now, okay, what's interesting is Dan tonight is our co-host. Dan has been an integral part of the LWA. Dan has been an integral part of Bandana
Dan
Joe's
came
career.
in to LWA like at year 5.
Wait, he was there at the first show, though.
He was there at the first show as a fan. Dan was able to see my few matches that I had, getting my ass whooped, getting thrown into a Dr. Pepper machine.
Yeah.
You got thrown into a Dr. Pepper
Yeah.
machine?
Vending machine, yeah, at the Armory.
Any Cokes come out?
No,
No, unfortunately, no.
that shit was stiff.
Dude, so my first memory of Dan is Dan with a Verizon tent
Yes.
over his head.
Yeah.
As a sponsor
As a
for
sponsor,
the
that was
LWA.
him. Yeah.
That's right.
But Dan, you had been wrestling before.
But of course, Dan has a voice. He has a distinct voice
Yeah, let me tell you something.
that he can tell you something, and you can be like, "Whoa, that's not from here," but he's born and raised here.
You may think he's from Jersey, pal, but he ain't.
Yeah. But he was born and raised in Laredo, Texas.
You may think he's from over there,
But I was over here now.
but he's over here.
Yeah. So I was like, "Hey, pal, you ever think about announcing?" I'd love to, pal.
I've always dreamed about it since my birth.
Let me tell you something, pal.
What I gotta do?
So Dan was a fan,
Dan was a fan, yes.
and then
But that's where
came up-
that's where you get the people. Like Johnny Montana was a fan, Dan was a fan. Everybody that's been into LWA has sat in an LWA show. Like, and
There's current wrestlers in Laredo that started off as LWA fans.
brother,
The majority of
everybody
it, yeah.
that runs wrestling has been to an LWA show. Either performed, has sat in the seats, has helped something, one thing or another. They all, what is it?
It was a
Come down to the LWA umbrella.
byproduct.
So I love that you're saying that because not too long ago I said the same thing about WR and how shows in the Valley, in the 956, how those shows run, and those are all byproducts of WR in the Valley. And I could just assume that in Laredo it's the same thing.
Yes, it is. Whether people admit it or not.
Yeah, wait. Some people will be bitter. I don't give a front door.
You
But-
can't.
The receipts are there, man. All of them.
Yeah, I don't hold grudges. Like, you do your thing, I do my thing. If it goes good for you, if it doesn't, I don't care. Like, I'm not there to be like, oh, fuck that guy, fuck this guy. Like, let me do my thing. If I fail at it because I did it the way that I wanted to. If you fail, it's because you fucking did it, you know?
You know what? And this may not make air, but I have a gripe to pick with you, right?
Oh, shit.
And listen, my gripe is not about how you treated me outside of our matches. You gave me great matches. The only thing you were not giving me was championship matches. And as a wrestler, championship matches mean the world So the first chance that JC Valentine gets to work with the LWA at Optimus Fest, JC Valentine wins the United States title, the LWA United States title, and that hurt my ass so much because I was like, motherfucker. I was thinking, this is JC's first time, and he gets the title? I get it. He's great. But what am I? Chopped liver?
Chopped liver, pal. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. One, the training that you all had at the time, because I don't know what training goes on in the Valley anymore. I've seen it once maybe. But at the time, the training that you all were getting was far superior to the training that we had here. Yes or no?
I can't talk about the training, but I can talk about the matches that I saw. It felt like it did feel that way.
Okay. I knew that I had you at a drop of a dime. Hey, Alvaro, can I say that? Can I say her?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
I'm here. I'm on air as Alvaro Bandana
Okay.
Joe Haas. Bandana
I only
Joe
know
Haas.
you as Alvaro and Bandana Joe. Joe Haas was past my time.
That was later
Yeah,
years.
but I knew that I could call you on a drop of a dime and I'd be I need you to carry this guy. I need you to put this match with this superstar to make it number one. At the time, championships to me were just, I got to carry this shit. I was like, I need to get these guys to come often to make sure that I'm making my money, your money, and we're all happy. So when JC was like, oh, because JC, I love the guy. I still love the guy no matter what we've been through. When you told me, he's yes and no. And I took it for what it was. And I go, I need him to be here 100% yes. Because I've always been stingy with my toys. I was like, you work for me, you're working for me.
Yeah.
Because together we'll make money. If you're working in Laredo Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I'm only working Sundays. What is it that I expect for people to come see you only on Saturday rather than Friday or Sunday?
Okay.
So I was like, I need to make sure that this guy's coming for me. Because I knew at the time that I could count on you to be here at a drop of a dime. Hey, I need you to work this person. I need you to work that person. Because I knew that titles weren't, it wasn't an actual prestige to you, or it wasn't like something like, I knew JC was like, oh, I want a title. But to you, I knew that you were already a worker, that you can be like, I can carry this company without a title, which you did for many years.
I will say that you knew that JC having the title, it gives them that pressure of
To come
I
back.
need to be there.
Yes.
Because I am the champion, I need to be there and show up. And you knew he was good enough to defend.
Yes. And like I said, I love the guy.
Yeah.
I love him like a little brother. I wanted to make sure that I had my toys to make sure, and not in a sense that, oh, I can run your life. Like more like, hey, let's build something together and we can bring people in to make sure that we have a house to make sure that we all get paid. Because if I don't get paid, I have to pay the building. I have to pay X amount of people before the wrestlers get paid. That sucks. That sucks when the wrestlers don't get paid. Trust me, I've been there where I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? And unfortunately, I think I've done it to you once where I told you, hey, bro, I'll get you within 2 weeks. And trust me, I will get you.
Brother, you were there for me when I wanted to stay in Laredo an extra night, or if I wanted to hang out with the boys after a wrestling show and my ride was driving back home. You got me. You were there for me the next day. You drove me back to the Valley on multiple occasions.
Yeah, multiple, yeah.
After a wrestling show because my ride left and I decided to stay to hang out with the boys, to hang out, have drinks, have long nights, which we would have fun.
And I think in my whole 12 years, I think it was only once where it was a bad night and it happens. But I was like, I counted on the house to make it. And that was the last time I ever did that. I was like, now we're going only on sponsors. Because it was a mistake on my end. Like, I will admit to that.
But that's a reality.
But I made sure that everybody got paid out. And ever since then, I don't think I have messed anybody up on pay.
Well, you were the first one to pay me. That's for sure. You were the first one to pay me and perhaps even some of my peers. Because for a long time, I wanted LWA to be that bridge between Laredo and the Rio Grande Valley. And I wanted the LWA to be a part of WR at Cine El Rey.
Yeah, and I saw your vision. But when other people didn't, and they thought that wrestling is real, and this is the way of life, it's like, brother, we create that story so people can see. Once they see it, then they'll believe into it. Not, you don't believe it. You work it.
But I feel good knowing that I have no heat with this guy or that guy. And I can say the same thing with you, that even though WR didn't want to book the LWA guys, there was some type of heat that was non-existent though.
I
What was the
remember
heat?
Slam in the Sun.
Dude, Slam in the Sun
Slam in the
was a
Sun was a great event.
big event in the Rio Grande Valley.
Yes, of course. And I remember I told the LW guys, let's go. We all went, but half of the guys had to come home.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, we drove 3 hours here. We wrestled. I want to go home. I got to go to my wife. I got to go to my girlfriend. Eckies, whatever. And so I was like, well, go. Like, you did your shit. Let's go. Like, go. I'll stay. I'm staying. Like, I got a room here. 3 or 4 guys have got the room. But to the other guys, to the WR guys, that was like a disrespect because we left. And it's like, bro, like, it wasn't like that. For years, they took it like that.
I think that that was a lack of preparation, a lack of expectation. We didn't set any expectations of who should be where at what time and what. So to them, being that they were the local guys that set everything up, it rubbed them the wrong way without realizing what you guys went through.
Like, I'd be
That's
like, okay.
the stuff that we don't take into consideration because we just think that we're everyone's just a wrestler and that's it. But no, there's a life behind the wrestler. Saying they're only looking out for themselves and Joe, you're building a bridge with a Trojan horse was the famous sentence that he said to me in a meeting that we had once. And that's the meeting where I was like, I'm done with WR. I'm done with Wrestling Revolution. Let me focus on LWA. Let me focus on other things. And I think that's when you came into the picture, Dan. And that was a Coven move. Coven's the one that told me, we were thinking of managers. Like, who can we get as a Renegades of Wrestling manager if we were to turn heel? We didn't want the heat on us. We wanted the heat on the manager. And we thought about Onyx because Onyx was such a good heel manager for the LWA. And Coven brought up Lieutenant Dan just because it was different. Lieutenant Dan had been a host for LWA, had been around LWA, but not necessarily as a manager for anybody. And that's when we were like, okay, I listened to what Coven had to say, and I was like, okay, I think that might work. And, we brought Dan into the Renegades, and the rest is history. And the Renegades had already been doing business with LWA for a while then.
Yeah, like I said, after year 2, you were family, brother.
Cemented in
Yeah.
to the LWA
And
DNA.
Coven and JC came in, and then little by little, Eric Shadows, I think, even wrestled the first match where you wrestled in.
See? And so did Matt Riot as Downfall. And I think even Danny Chance refed. I think Danny Chance got to ref that match.
Yeah, like, I mean, I have no ill will against anybody in the Valley. Everybody, like, I'm a friend to everybody. And I like everybody, but like I said, the only person I never got to speak with was Shooter. Out of everybody, I even had a conversation with Vermin, and I forget the guy that was always with him. The money guy. What was it?
Mondo Money.
Yes. See?
Mondo Money.
And like I said, they thought it was real. Well, I remember I was public enemy number 1 in the Valley because of what happened at Slam in the Sun. I remember everybody was up in arms like, oh, but I knew how to I still know how to take care of myself, So I was like, I'm not going to come into this town and be scared of nobody. Like, they point a gun at me, like, I'll know what to do. But I was like, nobody's going to point a gun. No wrestler's going to come point a gun at me. So I was like, if we're going to throw smacks, we'll throw smacks. And I remember I said on Facebook, I'm here. Where's everybody at? How much smack can you really talk to me?
I remember.
And then I remember I was at Hooters, and they were like, that's a nice family in my post. And I was like,
You looked around.
And I was like,
you
they're
saw
here.
You saw the post while you were at Hooters. And you
yeah.
looked
And
around.
I was like, they're here. Like, where are they? And I was like, are we going to throw down? Like, this is for real or not? And I look up, and then Vermin with Mondo Money, they were sitting together because they were always together because they lived the gimmick.
they're BFFs, man.
They lived it. The very last table.
Not even close to you.
No, at Hooters, and they're way out there. And I was like, oh, there they are.
What did you do?
And I walked up to the table, and I was, hey, what's going on, guys? Hey, what's going on? No, that, like...
Te saludaron.
Yeah, like, it wasn't like we were going to throw chingazos. Like, it was like, hey, what's going on? Yeah, this work? Yeah. Okay, cool. And that was that.
So they were working the gimmick.
Yeah, which was good. Like, in my opinion, that was great.
I reached out to Vermin not too long ago. I let him know, hey, like, Willie
Starnes.
Starnes. I'm over here.
I'm sorry if I put your name out there.
No, that I don't even know if he listens. But I was like, hey, Willie, I'm out here in whatever town I was in with AEW, and I let him know, like, listen, man, I just want to thank you for taking me in, for training me, for teaching me what you did, and for allowing me to do what I wanted in wrestling, because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have a beginning, and I wouldn't be working where I am now. I'm with AEW. and I give you thanks. And, you know, honestly, like, he told me he was happy for me and everything, but man, like, those guys that I started with are in a completely different world than where we are now. They are so far away from what we're doing.
Of course.
They wouldn't recognize the independent scene that they were in
Compared
if
to
they
now.
compared to now if they were to come back. There's just no way.
And I see it because at the time I did LWA for 12 years, and then I took a break because of COVID. And easily I could have said I'm going to take LWA back, but when your kids grow up, you let them live their lives. That's how I saw it. Like,
and by kids, you mean the wrestlers that were part of LWA?
no. The LWA was my baby.
The brand.
The LWA was my baby, my creation, my everything. I saw it grow, and I said, go live your life. I'm going to go this way with my new baby. That's where Aces comes in. You have your own life now.
This is as far as I can take you.
Which it has. It does have a life of its own. In a couple of days, it's going to have his show in Austin, Texas. Mm-hmm. The brand is going to be over there. It's on, I forget, what's the network it's on?
HOTWrestling.tv.
Yeah, I mean,
HOTWrestling.tv.
it's on a network, and I mean, I did what I could for 12 years. I didn't want to take it back and create something new of what was old because of everything that everybody showed me, every little bit and piece that everybody gave into LWA. I took all that to create a new kid. Like a new kid was born. So now let's let this kid grow.
Aces.
Yes.
And Aces was?
Aces was me, you know, like it's an extension of me.
Everything
because
having to do-
everybody knows. If you don't know who I am in the wrestling business, I'm sorry. It's not to be, again, mamon or stuck up, but my boots are everywhere. My boots are in WWE. My boots are in AEW. My boots are in New Japan. My boots are in Noah. Like, come on. My gear is right now getting known little by little. My name, my face, like everybody knows. I walk into a locker room and people know who I am. And again, it's not to be stuck up. Ric Flair knows who I am.
And,
you know?
and it's hard for me because I know you, and
Yeah.
I've known you for so long. So it's hard for me to go into a locker room and be surprised that somebody knows Ace. To me, that's normal. Knowing Ace is part of being in wrestling. Do you remember me reaching out to you about the Young Bucks?
The Young Bucks, when they were in TNA,
Back in 2013.
when they were Generation Me.
when they were just $300 guys.
$300.
They told me we're $300 each. However, if you get us multiple bookings that weekend, we can lower our price. I reached out to Ace right away. I wanted them for WR.
And I said, yes.
Yes.
But are we all on the same page? Because if I'm going to drop $600,
Yep.
I want to make sure that everybody, because $600 is $600 still right now to this day.
To this day, that's a lot of money.
$600 is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
And I go, like, if we're on the same page, let's go. Again, like Jinder Mahal, we're on the same page. WR Friday, Laredo Saturday, Blockbuster Wrestling Sunday.
In New Braunfels.
Which I ended up booking the couple shows that did.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean.
And so the Young Bucks before then, we wanted to get them for the 3 days. I wanted to get them for WR, and they said book us on other shows and we can lower our price. WRs were on Fridays. LWA shows were on Saturdays. New Braunfels for BBW on Sundays. So
Shout out to J-Rock.
Shout out to J-Rock.
I still wish that we were at a area where WR would work Friday, we would work Saturday, and they would work Sunday.
Circuit.
Yes.
How beautiful
That would
be?
work for all the independent.
Every week, all month long. Money
Correct.
for everybody.
There's opportunity across the board.
Correct. But what happened? Greed got to everybody.
Yep. That's what I like about what New Breed is doing, is that they're doing their shows in the middle of the week, which gives you plenty of time to book again in the Valley.
Danny Chance, this one's for you. When I say, hey, yo, that's my calling card.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo. It's been like that for the last 12 years.
No, and to be honest, like when you booked Jinder, we booked him, or we ended up doing the deal. Dante was down to do it. And we made sure that we got the matches that we wanted out of them. If Jinder Mahal was coming down to the Valley to WR, he's going to wrestle the Renegades, and that's what happened.
That's right.
If Jinder Mahal is coming to Laredo, he's going to wrestle Mad One and Spartan, and that's what happened. If Jinder Mahal is going to New Braunfels, he's going to wrestle their best guys, and that's what happened. That's what we did, and we made money. Everybody made money.
Of course.
That's the biggest payday I had with Wrestling Revolution, and I got to say it must have been like about $40, $50, but it was the biggest payday I got there. And I remember there was a time that I would come to Laredo and ask Ray for a little extra, and he'd be like, "Well, what does WR pay you?" And I'd be like, "Oh, you motherfucker, I can't compete. I can't compete with that. They're not paying me shit." Well, I mean, I'll add that to what I'm paying you, and we'll call it even. You're like, all right, you got
yourself a deal,
You
pal.
got yourself a deal.
Damn it, pal. You fucked me.
But I mean, dude, think about it. Think
if it
about
wasn't
it.
for that, look at you
It
now.
was business. It was business, and a lot of times as a performer,
and a lot of people don't see
no.
the business aspect of it. They're like, this is a business.
the
See,
bigger
Ray.
picture, man.
And I've got people pissed that are my closest friends, and I'm, bro, this is business. Like,
Yeah.
like if you can't understand that this is business, then you got to get out.
Está cabrón, way, because as being a performer, and I think that almost every wrestler feels this, you are passionate about what you do. Even as a manager, Dan, you are passionate to the point that you do this for free.
Yeah, you got to.
And then
In
it
the
comes,
beginning.
yes.
In the
Yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
Because once you start getting your name out there, you start a little bit, a little bit more.
you become valuable.
You increase your
Once-
value.
Once
Yes.
people start calling you out from out of town, you're like, okay, I can charge this. This is my booking fee, but since I'm going out of town, can you do this?
And then that's when it becomes hard because you're good. You're good with the promoter. You're friends with the promoter. But if they can't pay you what you're asking for, you can't get mad if you say yes. You can just say no. Like, I'm sorry, I can't do that. But you can't say yes, I'll do it, and then talk shit after. No, like just say no.
And then I see also in the aspect that if you're a wrestler and you're telling me, hey, I charge $80, but I'm a $40 talent. Come on.
Well,
Because I've seen
promoters
that.
talk.
I've seen that.
see, and that's on the promoter and on the wrestler. If the wrestler wants to lie and
I've
ask
seen
for
it.
more than they're worth, they got to be okay with the promoter saying no, thank you. But if the promoter sees this person as valuable but doesn't want to pay them what they're asking for, then the wrestler can say no, thank you, I'm moving on, and there shouldn't be beef.
You can't be pissed off in this
No.
business if you're asking for $80 and you're a $40 talent. If you're looking like you bought your gear at Walmart,
That was going to be my question: is what makes what to you is a $40 talent?
no wrestling boots, not shooter Roberts, shooter shoes, because yes,
And by shooter shoes, you mean like pro, like not pro, but amateur
Asics-
wrestling.
Asics and Adidas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The wrestling shoes that
Because-
they wear in the Olympics.
because if you don't look like you can beat up a guy that's in the audience, come on. I'm not the wrestler. I'm the promoter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're not wearing gear that makes you look like $1 million. Get out of here. Because the guy in the front row can look like $1 million, wear basketball shorts and some Asics and look better than you. But if you wear boots and you're wearing trunks, there's a kid in the valley right now. I forget his name, but I like him a lot. New breed. This kid's been wrestling for a while. Mooncat Franco.
He's the current South Texas champion out there.
He looks like a professional wrestler when he comes out of that curtain. He's not a big guy, but you know what? He wears trunks. He wears boots. He doesn't have to be wearing my gear. He doesn't, but he's wearing gear. He makes you believe. Guess what he makes me see? Barry Horowitz.
Barry Horowitz, always a professional. He reminds me a lot of JC Valentine. When JC started, he was the only guy to have professional gear. Professional gear from Mexico. Trunks, boots, knee pads, elbow pads, all the stuff that's needed to be a professional. JC had it all. That's where I learned how to get my boots, my gear, back when I started. And Mooncat is following in those footsteps, and I think that's a good way to go.
Yeah, again, if your gear is basketball shorts and shooter's shoes, and then and you're $80 and Mooncat is like, oh, I'm 40, 50. I'm not saying that's his actual
No,
booking fee.
yeah.
This is an example. And he's like, oh, mine is 40, $50, whatever you can do. Bro, I'm going with Mooncat. Like, as a promoter, I'm going with him because he can make me believe that he's a wrestler. Yeah, he's not your average wrestler, but Dusty Rhodes looked like you and I, you know? He was the common man.
He
Made millions.
Can you think of a person, wrestler, or anybody within the business that maybe you didn't let them know how much they meant to you, or maybe you didn't let them know like how proud you were of them?
There's a lot of talent. Yes, of course. I will tell you yes.
If you can pick one and like let them know through this, through this vehicle. Let them know how you feel about them.
Jeez, there's a handful.
If you can grab
Danny
the
Ramones.
handful.
Danny Ramones is out right off the bat. We had a show at the Firefighters Union Hall. You wrestled that show. I don't remember against who.
Is that the same one with Bushwhacker Luke?
No, that was at the.
Union.
No, that was at the.
Close to the bridge.
It was close to the bridge, but this was at the American Legion with Bushwhacker Luke.
Okay, American Legion, that's what it's called.
But we were at the Firefighters Union Hall, and that was the first time I was introduced to Danny Ramones, and he shows up right when the last match was going on, and he was like, "Hey, I'm a wrestler, blah, 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 if you ever need me." And I was like, "Bro, who are you?" Not because...
Pero llegó tarde.
Yeah, not because I didn't know who he was. It's because I was like, "You're a wrestler?" Like, I already had seen him on TV when I was a kid, when I was in high school. But Danny Ramones, when he said, "Oh, I'm Cherry Ramones," because at that time he was Cherry
As opposed to
Cherry Popper. He was Cherry Popper.
As opposed to Gravestone on TV.
Yeah. And bro, he lit it up here so many years. Like, I love that guy. Like, a lot of guys from the Valley are very loved here. Coven, JCU, Danny, like, bro, Danny Chance, like, the list goes on because you all guys had the talent, not because we didn't have it. It's because you all went above and beyond. You can go above and beyond in your city, but when you go above and beyond in this town and people like start catching on and start liking you and start clinging on to the aura that is the mystique of you being a professional wrestler, bro, Danny Ramones brought that. From the night that I saw him, he was quiet. He was more like, "Oh yeah, I wrestle in the Valley. I'm Cherry Popper." And you're like, "Bro, you need to bring him."
He's a very shy guy.
Yeah, the first time I met him,
Yeah.
that guy can work. He could have been number one in WWE if they would have given him the opportunity. He could have been number one in AEW. He could have been what FTR is right now.
He reminds me a lot of Gino Hernandez.
Mm-hmm. But he has more charisma.
Yes. Yeah, more charisma, more athleticism too. Even in his,
he's a mix of both. Like I say, in my opinion, he's a mix of both Cash Wheeler and
Gino.
No, not Gino. Dax Harwood.
He's
together.
both. He's both FTR together.
Because in the back, he's like going through his stuff. Like, he's going through the moves. He's like, you don't have to talk to him about the match. He's going through the motions. He's going through the moves. He's learning. He's like talking to himself. He's like shadow wrestling himself the whole match. And then when it's time to go, when Pour Some Sugar on Me hits, somebody else. He's actually Danny Ramones.
I had to tell him because I never did.
I hope he listens to this.
No, he does, and he's going to be a returning guest. He's going to be a special guest host on other episodes. But he was our very first episode on Lucha por Lucha, and I had to tell him, I had to let him know, and I think I told him on our second episode how much he meant to me in wrestling and how much I looked up to him in a competitive way. How I always thought I was better than he was, but that was me convincing myself so I can wrestle as hard as he did, so I can be as fast, as strong, as athletic as he was. I never got there, and I know that because he wrestled for the NWA when it was making a resurgence, and I never did. But he was always my goal. He was always the one that I wanted to beat.
Yeah.
I was like a makeshift version of him, like a cheap version. You know, you have your hamburger helper, and then I was the hamburger partner. You know, like I was the cheap version of what Danny Ramones was.
Yeah, no, like I tell you, I love Danny a lot. Like, not in that type of way, but but I love the guy. Like, and he's come to my house. He said, "I'm gonna park my car here. I gotta go do a booking." He's like, "Cool, man. I don't care. Like, whatever you need, you let me know." Like, he's like you to me.
He really is planning on coming back.
I hope he does. Like, I really hope he does.
You want me to give Danny a call?
If he's still available, call him. We can.
You wanna let him know?
Yes.
Let me see if we can give Danny a call.
We're live, pal.
Hey, yo, McMahon, can I have another beverage of choice?
Yeah,
Sure.
Let me have a little Bevro. He's gonna be on speaker.
Inga, party foul, Lieutenant Dan.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, Danny.
Hey,
Get on the
yo,
way.
can you hear us?
Mike, what are you doing?
I am currently recording a podcast with Lieutenant Dan and Ace over here in Laredo.
Oh, awesome. What's up, guys?
Hey, yo, what's going on, Tenny?
I asked Ray, like, if there was any wrestler, any performer that, you know, if he could talk to them right now, give them their flowers. And your name came about, man. And Ray, I have Ray here with us on the line, on air. And Ray wanted to talk to you real quick.
Hey, yo.
How's it going, Ray? I miss you, brother.
I miss you, too. I told you this a couple of days, no, like a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother.
Yes.
I was just telling Alvaro, the one guy that made LWA special was always you. Because that's right. In the back, you would be ready to go. You'd be training. You'd be doing your match. You'd be shadow wrestling everybody. You'd be shadow wrestling Ronald McDonald. But when it was go time, when it was time to go, as soon as Pour Some Sugar came up, you were 100% every single time.
That's right.
And I told Beach, I want Danny to come back to Laredo. I love you like a brother. And the first time I met you, I remember we were sitting by a trailer, and once the ring was on the trailer, you were just shy. Like, my name is Cherry Popper.
I remember that. I remember that.
Yes, and
oh my God.
And like I said, Beach told me one guy, and I was like, one guy out of everybody, out of the 12 years in LWA, it was you.
Thanks, man. Thank you, brother. I don't know what to say to that, dude, but man, dude, like I honestly can't wait, brother. Like, thank you for that, and well, that means a lot to me. It really does. It really, really does, man. And I honestly cannot wait to come back. And like, honestly, man, I'm just so anxious for it, dude. I really am.
And Danny, I don't want you to, like, to feel bombarded. I know we just called you out of nowhere. No heads up,
All right,
no nothing.
Man.
Pero
no worries.
I wanted to get a genuine response from both Ray and from you, just so that the listeners can know, like, just how legitimate this is and how real it is. Pero I want you to recognize the influence that you've had, not just within the wrestlers and the performers, but also the promoters who would book you, and what value you had to them, man.
No, man, dude, that really does mean a lot, dude, honestly. Like, never in my entire life did I ever, like, think I was going to be, or, like, I've never in my life did I ever thought someone was ever going to say that about me, honestly. Ever.
No, and
ever, man.
And I was telling...
It's an honor, dude. It's a pleasure, man.
I was telling Alvaro that I remember being in high school at 2 a.m, Saturday night. I would come home and watch... It was an NWA. Bruce Tharp was announcing, and you were on there, and the Colonel was wrestling. I remember just you three. Come to find out, you were one of the best.
I remember that, dude. Oh, my God. I was going by was a gravestone during those times. I was just a freaking 18, 19-year-old kid, man.
That's what I was telling Ray, man, that you were out there in Brownsville, just 18 years old, dude, and you were going by gravestone. I had the same memories that Ray does, dude. Like, he was in Laredo watching this stuff. I was in Roma watching this stuff. And little did we know that we'd come across the guy that we would watch on our TV, and that you would mean so much. And I guess this is our moment to give you your flowers, man, to let you know that even if the next chapter is not what it was before, anything that comes after is just adding on to the legacy that you've already created. It's just adding on to the greatness that you've made for myself as a wrestler and a former competitor with you, and Ray as the promoter, dude. And even Lieutenant Dan, who's here with us, can be a testament to that, man.
Oh, absolutely. Nobody knows how to shake their backside better than the Cherry Popper.
I feel a lot better than what I did months ago, and like, I feel very positive about it. And if I do get cleared, I am gonna go train. I'm gonna go train possibly that same day, if not the next. So like I'm very like excited and like anxious for it, man. Like I really am.
Yeah, dude. Thank you for answering. Believe me, like, we all have the same respect for you, if not more than all the others, because we've known you for so long. We've seen you grow within the business, and we look forward to the moment that you can step back into the ring.
I want him to come back to Laredo. Earlier today, I've got a call from somebody from the Bullet Club. So I think I've got that ace in the hole.
Oh my God.
Oh
So-
my God! All right,
God
oh,
willing.
Man, see, this is
No
this is
pre-
even more
no
motivating.
no pressure,
No
Danny.
pressure. I'm gonna go up to my cardiologist. You better clear me, you stupid motherfucker. I'm just kidding.
No pressure, Danny. No, wait,
Oh,
pero
man.
thanks again, Danny, for answering, man. We'll be in touch. Let me remind you that Sunday, early morning, we got AEW All In my casa. And I've got my
Awesome.
wife and my sister-in-law that are going to make brunch for us.
Nice. I
Good
might
for
drive
you.
down
Oh,
there.
that's perfect.
That one, Danny.
That's perfect, man.
Thanks
All
a
right,
lot, brother.
guys, y'all
I know
stay safe,
I know
man.
it's late, man. I know it's late. Thank you for answering. We just decided to give it a shot.
Sorry, I ruined your
Take
life.
care,
No
brother.
problem, man. No problem. Y'all stay safe, guys. It was great hearing from y'all. Y'all
Talk
be
to you
safe,
later,
please.
Vato Loco.
Okay, bye.
Later,
Yes.
Danny. Thank you for answering about them. Good night, man.
Yeah. Bye.
So there we have it, man. Danny Ramones is ready and willing.
If I create one more Hall of Fame, he's number one. He's going in. Like, if my word means anything in the wrestling industry, he's going in.
I like that you mentioned the Hall of Fame because before doing this podcast, Mel and I talked about running a show for my birthday this year. And we decided not necessarily against it, but we decided that maybe a different route, a better route to take would be a podcast because this would, of course, open up networking doors for wrestlers to come in and wrestle for us and whatnot. However, in my own selfish mind, I'm thinking, what will all this lead to? A Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame in the 956.
Of course.
And I did not remember until you mentioned it now that LWA had a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and Jinder Mahal was one of the Hall of Famers.
Dude, and I
Bushwhacker
think,
Luke is a Hall of Famer.
and see, we're name dropping the big names, but let's talk about the people that deserve, and I mean deserve as in the ones who came in every time there was an LWA show or anything big in the 956, not just LWA, but I'm talking about where I'm from in the Valley. One thing that I like to do at the end of the show
This is the end already?
for this episode.
Oh, I haven't even started. Like
I know. Listen. When you heard my episode, which I know you heard, I only talked
lucha
about
por lucha.
I only talked about 2 of my matches, my first 2. That's all I talked about in a whole hour.
Brother, we haven't even scratched the surface of how you got into Zapata, Texas.
No. I know, and I want to get there.
We
And
didn't even
we're-
talk about your tag team run.
No,
or
and
your
the
tag
tag
title
team,
run.
the tag team title run was huge.
Big time.
But let me ask this for you, Ray.
That's me.
If you can make a toast tonight.
I already told you, Danny Ramones.
Well, that was the guy that you wanted to give his flowers to. This is different. If you could make a toast to anyone, any moment, or anything that you've experienced, this is your moment to make a toast to that. Whether it was a wrestler, a promoter, an announcer, a manager, a toast that would mean the most for you.
It's hard because a lot of people made it out of LWA to become super megastars. Ricky Starks, Aaron Solo, yourself, Roxanne Perez,
Victoria.
Jinder Mahal made it out of here. Victoria, which is Raquel Gonzalez. Christy James working for the NWA. The Tokyo Monster took a chance on us. So, the Green Ranger, Jason David Frank.
Jason David Frank, R.I.P.
I mean, there's so many. The list goes on and on. You only get as big as you want to be because you listen. You listen to what I have to tell you, not because I'm somebody in this business, because I have connections that I can tell this person, next person, hey, book this person because I know that they can help your company. I did that. I can show you the messages of where I've done that for several wrestlers. When little by little doors started opening into promoting, into gear making, into boot making, into like now being somebody where, like I said, I can walk into any locker room and be like, oh, it's Ace, like he's cool. Like, don't worry. I know people and I've witnessed things that not a lot of people have. If you've ever come through here, through Laredo, and you worked under me, thank you. You did an amazing job. But like I said, my child grew. Now it's somebody else's. My new baby is about to be born. And guess what? In this business, I ain't here to lose. 12 years, how many times did I lose?
I'll drink to that. I'll
Cheers.
cheers to that. We still have so much more to talk about, so much more to explore. So there you have it, folks. The Silver Bullet Ace. We didn't even talk about where the Silver Bullet came from.
What's next?
That's going to be next.
Tune in chapter 2, right?
We're going to have to come back.
Same beach channel, same beach time.
That's correct. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, for sure. Thank you guys.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, right?